She don't listen.
Tina, you're listening. Tina, you're not listening.
You're listening?
Yeah.
You gotta listen.
Yeah.
Okay, Tina?
Welcome to Guys We...
Hello, citizens of planet Earth. If you're listening to this and you're a Luminary subscriber, that means you're listening to this on Friday, April 4th. If you live in London, that means me, Krystyna Hutchinson, I will be performing at Top Secret Comedy Club tonight, Friday, April 4th, and tomorrow, Saturday, April 5th. I would love it. I'm doing a spot on a stand-up show. I would love if you came, if you bought a ticket. Links for those tickets can be found on my Instagram bio at Krystyna Hutch, and I would love to say hi to you.
Not a secret anymore.
Hey. If you want to email us, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Today's subject line, I recommended guys to a girl, and then she my boyfriend.
Oh, sounds about right.
Yeah, girl.
That's why I've been warning you. I've been warning you.
We share too much.
Can't say I didn't warn you.
Hi, Corinne and Krystyna, longtime listener here from New Zealand. I discovered your podcast when I was 19. I am now 28 years old, and you're our daughter. You guys have been a beautiful part of my young adulthood. Never thought I'd have such a story to share, but here we are. I, female, met my partner, let's call him Craig, when I was 22 years old, and he was 34 at the time. I was backpacking in his country and working for his family business. They have a very unique business and homestead at which people from all over the world come to work and live there.
I was like, what's the business? Fucking their employees.
Sounds cool. I mean, sounds like a great business. Our relationship started off hot and cold on Craig's behalf. He was weird about me being 12 years younger. Yeah, I'm sure he was weird. Hadn't worked through some stuff in his past yet.
Oh, crazy.
Long story short, a few road bumps later, we ended up together, now with 2 young children. Oh, you have kids? Okay, y'all procreated. Okay, this is real.
A few road bumps later, Craig being disrespectful and you putting up with it.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
You'll love our bonus episode if you're a Luminary subscriber.
Yeah.
Okay, becoming a mom is no joke.
No.
Yeah, dude.
No.
It rips the fabric of your life apart. Yep. Your sense of self and how you see the world. It completely shifts your relationships too. Craig, yeah. Totally. Craig has many amazing qualities. He's a very talented and creative carpenter. Okay. Love a guy who can hang a shelf. They're very rare. He knows how to get shit done, and he's very personable, has interesting ways of viewing life, is highly ambitious, and we share many of the same goals for the future. He's also a great dad. However, it has been a very hard few years for us with the pregnancies and births of our 2 children, the ensuing postpartum depression, and him finishing a major renovation project. Fast forward to November last year, and I decided to move back to New Zealand as I wasn't coping well looking after the kids mostly on my own in an isolated environment. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I wanted to see my family. Craig and I had been planning on a trip to New Zealand anyway, so we thought I'd only be there for a couple weeks earlier than him. We ended up being separated for 5 weeks as he was struggling to round off his project. 2 days after he joined me in New Zealand, I knew something was off, so I asked him if anything had happened while I was gone. He admitted straight away that something had happened, but at seeing my reaction, he freaked out and lied to me about what? It took 2 days of lies for the truth to come out. He had been sleeping with a 19-year-old backpacker that I knew from the homestead on his family's property. It had been going on.
Didn't seem like he was really grappling with the age gap there.
Nope. Seemed
like he got over it. He's healed.
Seemed like his dick just walked into it.
Oh, he's healed.
He had been going on for weeks. It had been going on for weeks. He had taken her to our family home and was still in contact with her at the time this all came out.
Whoa.
Okay, bye, Craig.
Whoa.
You fucking dick.
Whoa.
The shock and utter betrayal of it was earth-shattering. Yeah, girl.
Whoa.
The pain was more immense than I'd ever felt. I couldn't eat for weeks. I couldn't think. If I had your fucking baby, dude, and you fuck a 19-year-old, hell hath no fury, my friend. I couldn't eat for weeks. I couldn't think of anything but what I was going through. It was like a giant bomb had exploded and the gravity of my world was suddenly gone. The girl, let's call her Tina, was a friend and colleague who had been living alongside us for half a year or more. Oh, you hoes ain't loyal, Tina. Tina would ask me for relationship advice. I even recommended your podcast, which she said she loved.
How can I fuck your boyfriend? Can you give me
Tina,
more information on how to fuck your boyfriend?
Tina, girl. You listening, but you ain't listening. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey girl, if you're listening, of course I blame Craig mostly. He's 21 years older and is the one with the family and the partner. I just assumed Tina felt good basking in the glow of the interest of an older, taken man. Teenage girls especially are highly susceptible to the idea of our worth being inflated by such attention.
You know what? You can tell she listens to the podcast because that was really diplomatically handled.
This chick listens to the podcast.
She listens.
Tina? She don't listen.
Tina, you're listening. Tina, you're not listening.
You're listening?
Yeah.
You gotta listen.
Yeah.
Okay, Tina? Craig claimed he was going through a mental breakdown. Yeah, and he fucked a 19-year-old and was existential about turning 40.
How about you just
fuck off, Craig.
Drink a bottle of wine in the bathtub like the rest of us.
And play a tiny violin to no one but yourself and then jerk off to your tears. That, when I left, he felt like he had completely failed.
So you failed some more?
He said he didn't know how young Tina was.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you've only been hanging out with her for fucking half a year. That makes sense. He either chose to remain ignorant, no, or just all of a sudden didn't care about big age gaps.
Yeah.
It has made me see Craig in a whole new light. Before the affair, I felt so lucky to have found a diamond in the rough type of guy.
Damn.
How simultaneously naive and seemingly all-knowing I was back then. Yeah, you listen to the podcast. When the truth came out, I was very confused. Our sex life kicked off better than it had ever been before. I was anxiously attaching in one moment and completely shunning him the next. Yeah, and it's grief. Grief is wavy, wavy, wavy. It's a hurricane. Now the dust has settled and I have lost a lot of respect for him and think he must be stunted in some way. I mean, yeah. That maybe he had to choose women a lot younger than him because an older, wiser woman would see his stuntedness
Correct.
and not put up with it.
Correct.
Nailed it. I see this as an affliction that most straight men carry. Many men will use us to regulate themselves because they aren't taught or encouraged to do so for themselves. I've become incredibly cynical about love. We are all seeking selfishly in others for what makes us feel better, for what can prop our personal narratives. Rarely is it the noble, spiritual, deep connection that lots of us wish for. See, this is why I want to date women. Men don't fucking think about this. The closest I have come to those connections have been with other women. Thank you. You want to date, girl? Let's go. Craig was in deep pain when I left. Poor Craig. But instead of looking inside himself to see where this pain was coming from, he sought to numb it. He turned his head and there was Tina, a more than willing participant with her own selfish needs to fulfill through him.
Damn.
The unfairness of it all hit me really hard. And I didn't even have time to have an affair when I was solo parenting our 2 children for those 5 weeks.
Yeah, tell him.
One of them, a 10-month-old baby, still attached to my breast all night long. But I've come to realize that as steamy and passionate as their affair may have been, it's also pretty pathetic too. Craig owes me big time and I won't accept any less than I need. I will be taking a lot more time for me, a solo vacation somewhere warm, taking a lover of my own if I wish. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, but like no one's looking at a 40-year-old guy and fucking a 19-year-old girl and being like, that's awesome for the guy.
The only person thinking that's awesome is
It's
the
a
40-year-old guy. No, the 40-year-old guy.
I think the 19-year-old girl thinks it's awesome too.
It is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I was 19 is when I met that one guy who was like 39.
Yeah.
Gotta say it felt powerful.
Yeah.
He wasn't married though.
And then you'll
or
grow
had
up-
kids. He wasn't even dating anybody.
But then you grow up and then you think about that guy and you're like, oh man, I was just like fucking a loser.
Dude,
Yeah.
Tina, you fucked a loser.
You fucked a loser.
With the pain gone and a new sense of acceptance, I feel I am emerging from a chrysalis. My mind is clearer. I can see the man inside of my head that has always been policing me my whole life to act and look certain ways, to take up less space, to put men's pleasure and needs before my own. I am starting the excavation process of digging out the insidious tumor and internalized patriarchy, eradicating the belief that a woman's greatest purpose is to be loved by a man. You're a beautiful writer. I'm now leaning into the practice of decentering men. Maybe I've become radicalized, but I have felt closer to myself than I have in years. I feel free again. I have a newfound deep knowing of my inherent worth. A knowing that to be a good mother is not to deny one's own needs, but to have them,
Yes.
to strive to fulfill them unapologetically. I'm excited to explore the world through these new eyes. Dude, Craig don't deserve you. To approach relationships with men, friendships, or lovers from this more self-aware space. There are so many different elements and themes that tangle together in this experience I've been living. It's hard to express it all in email format. Thank you so much for providing this space. I don't think I have any questions, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I also want anyone else to know if they're going through a similar kind of betrayal, don't Fight the pain. Welcome it as much as you can so it can move through your body. Could not agree with that advice more. Give yourself grace if you express it messily. The chaotic emotions and pain subside eventually, and you have the choice to decide what to do with it all. You can become closer to yourself than ever before. There is a shining wisdom that is born out of this stinking pile of shit. It's yours if you choose to take it. Much love, a loyal Kiwi fucker. Tina, this girl listens to the show. Okay, Tina? Think about that.
Yeah.
If you like the show and you're listening, what the fuck, huh?
Yeah, that was a great letter.
That's a beautiful, and this to this woman, I don't know your name, but if you don't have a career in writing, you could, if it's interesting to you.
I also think, though, it seems like she's keeping the guy.
Maybe, and she's gonna fuck other people if she wants to. I mean, I love that for you. I mean,
I'm just curious to see like how that, like what conversation you have, like how the dynamic changes, like that kind of a thing.
And how sorry is he? And how much easier is he willing to make your life by fucking up majorly like that?
Yeah, and how do we know that he's different? Because it seems like, you know, he started his relationship with you kind of in the same way, and like you ended up having a family and like being together with him, but you know,
he's choosing not to be present in his life, and you are choosing to be present in your life, and it clearly shows by his decision making and your decision making, and just the way that you've communicated your sentiments here. That I hope that he gives you a lot. I hope there's a lot of benefit to keeping him around for you. I don't really care about him.
Oh, man. All right. Well, you guys know what I'm going to tell you to do. You're going to head over to CorinneFisher.com. You're going to press the donate button if you haven't already.
If you're an American citizen.
Make a donation if you're a U.S. resident or a U.S. or an American living abroad. Those are the two people who can do it. And if not, you're going to tell a friend in New York, or you're going to also get into the comments of local New York City politics articles and be like, hey, what about Corinne Fisher for mayor? That really does work. Other candidates have people doing it, and it works really well. And then I did end up doing on Friday an interview on CBS, which aired yesterday, which was Sunday, called The Point with Marcia Clark. If you want to watch that interview, the full interview is available on YouTube. You can just literally type in The Point with Marcia Kramer. Sorry, I said Marcia Clark.
I was going to say, wait,
I wish it was
Clark.
No.
If anybody knows Marcia Clark, we want to interview
Marcia
her.
Clark has nothing to do with it. I was thinking about how much I love Marcia's, though, because I also loved Marcia Kramer, who had me on. So it's The Point with Marcia Kramer. And so you can just type in The Point with Marcia Kramer, Corinne Fisher, and that the full interview will come up on YouTube. Great interview.
Really good interview.
Thank you so much to Marcia Kramer for having me. And, you know, if you're not in New York City, you might not know, but this woman, she's the chief political correspondent for the CBS New York affiliate. She's truly a legend.
Yeah, she is.
So it was really special to be on her show. And I think it really speaks to her character and who she is and her fairness that she had me on when so many other outlets are pretending that I'm not running. So, she's done so much more work in politics than many of those people, and has been around for a long time. And I could tell that she thought it was really cool that I was running, and also was genuinely interested in my platform. And I think that's really special and cool of her, and her opinion does matter more than other people's.
Correct. Correct.
So thank you, Marcia. And then, of course, you can join me every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Without a Country. There's so much to talk about in national news, and I also go a lot more in depth about, when I talk about transparency with this political campaign, I go step by step all the things that are happening on Without a Country, but we also do our From Fox to Vox reading every single week, and it's a good time to really commit to being invested and knowing what's going on before something happens where you need to know what's going on because you will be directly affected. So please join me there.
Ooh.
And go ahead, Eric. Do you have dates you want to plug?
Yes, I do. Yes, please come and see me. I'll be headlining Vancouver, a May 1 through 4, and then I'm just reading it. I will be headlining Phoenix, Arizona, 5/22 through 25, and then
Who says 522?
I'm reading it off my.
Okay.
Okay. And then come and see me, Minneapolis, June 5th through 8th. And then Edmonton, July 3rd through 6th.
Fuck yeah. April 10th through 12th, your girl, Krystyna Hutchinson, is going to be in Baltimore, Maryland, headlining the Port Comedy Club. And then Naples, Florida, I'm doing a one-nighter headlining Off the Hook Comedy Club, Naples, Florida, April 24th. Won't you come? And then this is, I'm going to ask you for a donation. You can be international. And it's a $5. My friend who is experiencing just the absolute loveliest gentleman in the world, who is abusive, who's a rapist. Allegedly, Chad. He allegedly raped her and abused her and pushed her when she was pregnant. She escaped it, but she is fighting him in court, as many abusive people do to their romantic partners that they use as punching bags. He is trying to rid her of all of the funds, all of her money, because that's the only type of control he can get of her. So, long story short, I still have that GoFundMe to support my friend. When she's going through after she does these lawsuits and she figures it out and she gets the money back that she's owed, she's gonna come on the show and we're gonna talk about this guy. And I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. I'm going to give you the name of his fucking business. I can't wait. But for now, can you donate to her GoFundMe? If you click the link in my Instagram bio, that's Krystyna Hutch. There's a lot of links to all my comedy shows. If you scroll down, it says donate to support Krystyna's friend in escaping abuse. She is being hit with a new lawsuit. The guy's trying to have a conservatorship over her and the baby. And, when we eventually do hear her story, we will understand how batshit crazy that is. So if you have a couple dollars to spare and you've already donated to Corinne's campaign, please consider donating to my friend's GoFundMe. How you doing, girl?
And that's if you're international and you wanted something to donate to, there you
go. That's truly making a difference.
There you go. All right. I'm good. Yeah. How are you? What's going on with you? We've been talking about me nonstop.
Oh, good. I'm excited to leave America.
Not for good, just for a couple days.
No, just for a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Cotswolds for a couple days.
Yes.
It's a British countryside. I love London. I love England. Something about that place. There's so many other places I have never been to that I can't wait to go to at some point eventually. But every time there's something special about England that's like, I don't know if I've lived there before. I don't know if I will live there in the future. They got a lot of aliens. They're the home of the Arthur Findlay College. I'm trying to go take a workshop there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to that Arthur Findlay College. But yeah, that's just really, and then I'm just dealing with my excitement over that. And I've been painting. I've been using watercolors to paint. And it's been really nice.
Are you a good painter?
Yeah, actually, I am.
I was like, I've never seen a Krystyna Hutchinson piece.
Dude, I've been doing bouquet. I have books on how to do it. So you sketch it with a pencil and then you paint. I love watercolor. It's so freeing. And I like I'm taking drum lessons still and doing all I like learning new skills that involve my hands because it takes me out of my head. And at a time where, it's not an exaggeration to say that fascism is taking over the United States of America. And, the two people that, they're not genetically part of me. One of them is, but there's just the two people that raised me are just continuing to be a real stick in the mud. The same tactics and the same. And if you're listening and you have
nothing worse than being controlling and a hack.
I know, honestly, truly. But it's been so interesting to learn that, I know it feels if anybody for people with difficult parents, and it still stresses you out. Just know that if they didn't have you as a kid, they had somebody else as a kid, they do to that kid. It's it feels like the most personal thing, but it's so not personal. So it's been interesting to gain perspective because I'm working on my one-woman show. And because I talk to my brother's like one of my closest people in my life who I love so much, I'm getting interesting perspectives of him about the people who raised us, and I'm coming up with a great ending for my one-woman show.
Oh.
So, been thinking about that, been thinking about painting, been thinking about Corinne from Air.
Nice.
3 great things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I talk about it in the interview because all I'm thinking about, I know you're like, oh, what else is going on in your life? There's nothing else in my life.
This is your life.
Corinne, for sure, for me. I have literally no time. My hair was falling out of my head, not my actual hair, my extensions. And I was like, I went to the salon at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday because that was the only time that I could fit it in. And that's not normal.
And our campaign manager was like, get ready to have no life for a long time.
Oh, I already had no life. So I can only imagine like the fact that it's now going to get worse, what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah. And yeah, no, I mean, I talked about it briefly in the interview that you're going to hear today, but it's just, I was at a wedding on Saturday, a surprise wedding, but it was a surprise wedding masked as their daughter's birthday party, but it was actually both. I knew
So
the wedding was
fun.
happening though. And you just see how many people come out and how many gifts are, thrust upon the child. And that's wonderful. And it's great when family shows up. But again, it was just a reminder that we need to start, especially if you're someone who believes that women are behind, right? That women need to progress in society. We need to start showing up for women in other ways outside of when they get married or when they have children. And that's what I was thinking about a lot. How easy it is to get someone to come to your wedding. We fly, last week I flew across the country for someone's wedding that I barely knew. We fly to other countries for people's weddings. We babysit our friends' children's, for free without, no problem. Don't even mention it, and those things are great. I'm not saying to stop doing those things. But for the women in society who don't want to do those things or those things are not their priorities, we need to show up for those friends in our groups too. And that's how I really think of this mayoral campaign, And this was something before I ran for mayor that I had discussed at length with my mother, whether it was like our book coming out or people coming to see my comedy shows. I just see, so many friends and family going out of their way to support people in these more traditional pursuits. And I don't see the same energy for these non-traditional things that I do that I hope in the future become traditional things.
Yeah.
And so it's just a reminder. And, you could be a feminist yourself and be slipping up in these ways. It doesn't make you a bad person. Obviously, you were socialized to prioritize things like you having kids and getting married as these milestones that we're all reaching towards because, maybe not everyone is going to run for mayor, but everyone has a dream, everyone has a dream, everyone has a goal, and everyone I think is looking for their purpose. And so on the road there, when those people need help, whether it be emotional support, financial support, whatever it is that you have that you can offer them, please show up for them. And we talk about it more in this interview, but it's something that I have thought of, long before running for office, but continue to think about, especially with a campaign where I've never needed to ask people for money before, but this is just part of it. And so it's not just, people not showing up with money. It's people not showing up to sign a petition when they say they're going to show up. It's people not, volunteering when they say they're volunteering, all these things. It's all of these things. That's it. And it's not, I don't want to make it negative because there's been so many people who have shown up. It's just a reminder because I want, people, pursuing things to have the same kind of support that we have when women are supporting family things and wedding things, and to, leave that Instagram comment when someone's trying something new that doesn't involve getting married or having a kid. There's so many ways to show up for those people, and we're not trained to do so.
Yeah. So let's start thinking about that.
Start doing it. Yeah.
Speaking of people that start doing stuff, this guest we had such a great conversation. She's the chief executive officer of the Abortion Positivity Project, and she's really leading the charge in the new ways that we should be thinking and talking, and how important that is about abortion and how positive abortion is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Sophie Neer.